Is this just a coincidence? Or did Jin keep a secret message that was deliberately slipped? Why is the bed seen in his latest music video so disturbing? Fans are panicking, theories are popping up, and one mysterious phrase keeps ARMY from sleeping. Clue or hidden SOS signal. This is the beginning of unprecedented anxiety, and the answer may be much darker than we imagine. Did you feel anything strange while watching Jin's latest music video? Something inexplicable, as if there was an emotional pressure piercing the chest as soon as the scene appeared. The scene when the genie sits alone on an almost sterile white bed, in a room too quiet to be called comfortable. As if time stopped, and only one question remained in everyone's mind. What does it mean? Is this just an aesthetic symbol? Or is it just a signal of danger that Jin wants to send to the ARMY, neatly hidden behind melodic strains and soft lighting? And even more frantic, why after the release of the video, some of the biggest fan accounts simultaneously deleted their comments for no reason. It wasn't just the bed scene that was in the spotlight, but Jin's blank stare, the silence that was too long, and the glare of the camera that felt like lurking instead of recording. It all feels too real, too personal, and too different from Jin's previous works. This is not just art. This is a silent scream which not everyone is willing to hear. What's more surprising? In one of the moments of the video, there is a faint inscription on the side of the pillow, which can only be read if the video is slowed down to 0.25x. The inscription is only one word: overt. One word that made many ARMY immediately shiver. Overt, which in English means open or overt, stands in striking contrast to the overall hidden and symbolic atmosphere of the clip. The question then is not just what does Jin mean, but rather, what is he trying to reveal so blatantly but still hidden enough for only a handful to catch him? Some theories suggest that the bed scene is a representation of Jin's current psychological distress, who is forced to return to the public spotlight sooner than he should. Even after his military service had not yet been fully completed emotionally, he already had to return with music videos, fan meetings, and expectations that gave him absolutely no room to breathe. But there are also those who believe this is a form of Jin resistance to the narrative imposed on him. If all this time we have known Jin as the worldwide handsome, with his characteristic big smile and jokes, then in this video we see a different Jin. A tired Jin. A Jin who does not want to laugh. A Jin who wants to be understood not as a celebrity, but as a person. Was this clue inserted intentionally by Jin? Or does he know it and try to cover it up? The fact that there is not a single official statement from HYB about the suspicious symbols in the video only adds to the suspicion, as if there was something to hide. Or rather, deliberately not explain, as the ARMY tried to delve deeper. They discovered that the original sketch of the video's storyboard, which had been leaked on one of the design accounts, showed the bed scene was supposed to last no more than 3 seconds. But in the final version, the scene lasts nearly 12 seconds with repeated close-ups and slow-motion highlights. Who changed it? And more importantly, why? There are also fans who compare this scene with contemporary photographic artwork on the theme of loss and isolation. One of the most frequently cited is the work entitled The Last Room, an installation depicting the room of an abandoned psychiatric hospital patient. And in that resemblance, a question is born that makes the hairs bristle. Is the genie portraying himself as someone who is slowly being abandoned by sanity? But the biggest surprise came precisely from Jin's short-lived a week after the release of the video. During the live, Jin looked awkward and constantly played with his fingers, as if he wanted to say something but couldn't. At the end of the session, he said only one sentence that made thousands of spectators immediately speechless. Sometimes, silence is safer than honesty. Is that a confession? Is Jin telling us that he chose silence because honesty can destroy more than he can bear? The ARMY is now split in two. Some believe that this is just a profound artistic expression of Jin, while others believe that Jin has left a breadcrumb or trail for us to follow, hoping that there are those who really understand the message he is slipping. But in all theories, one thing remains the central point: the bed scene. The place that was supposed to be a symbol of comfort and rest has now turned into a symbol of alienation, pressure, and something darker. Is it a reflection of the true condition of the genie? And if so, why didn't anyone make a sound? Why is HYB silent? Why don't BTS's colleagues talk about it? Even subtly, clue after clue keeps coming up, from genie costumes that are too innocent to facial expressions that are too real to be called acting. There's something going on behind the scenes, and the army knows it. They can feel it. When a person who has been giving light all this time suddenly begins to hide in the shadows, the biggest question is not what happened to him. Rather, who made it like this? Night after night, fans continued to replay the video, trying to find meaning in every second, every eye movement, every breath. And in that silence, we all begin to understand one thing, that the genie's greatest message is not in the lyrics or the music, but in her silence, because sometimes silence can be louder than screaming. And now, one last question haunts all minds. If this is Jin's veiled request for help, did we come too late to hear it? As time went on, and the music video spread around the world, it wasn't just Army Korea that wondered. International fans, including those from Europe and South America, began making frame-by-frame breakdowns of the video. One of the fanbase community in Brazil even called this video as the darkest visual code ever issued by a BTS member solo. Of course, not everyone can immediately accept this narrative. Some try to neutralize the suspicion by mentioning that the bed scene is just a representation of Jin's solitude while serving his military service. However, the more it is seen, the more difficult it is to believe that this is just aesthetics. Because even the white sheets used in the scene turned out to have a vague pattern, like a print of the image of a person hugging his knees in the corner of the mattress. An unorthodox visual symbol, especially if only for artistic beauty. Then why did Jin choose overt? It's not a common word choice. That word is too specific, too direct, too deep. Some linguists who are also ARMY try to interpret, and one of the most interesting opinions calls that overt here can be satire. As if Jin said, "I've been hiding something for too long. Now I put it in front of all of you blatantly." But still, no one really saw it. One of the moments that became the center of another conversation was when the camera slowly highlighted the small window in the room. Behind the window, there was a glimpse of a shadow, like someone standing motionless. But when the video is played back, the shadow is no longer there. ARMY immediately uproar. Is it just a lighting effect? Or did the genie deliberately add a symbol of the presence of a silent observer, someone or something that can only be seen once and then disappear? And does this mean that the genie is being watched? Shortly after this unease spread, a mysterious audio recording leaked from the process of filming the music video emerged. In the recording, Jin's voice is heard saying in a low and heavy tone, "I'm not sure I want to include this scene, but I think it's necessary." Then another voice, presumably the production staff, answered, "If you're sure, we'll make a version." But after this footage went viral, it suddenly disappeared from all platforms. Even the Twitter account that first uploaded it is now nowhere to be found. Just erased. Too fast, too clean. As if it never existed. What the hell is going on? Did Jin really convey feelings through hidden visuals because they couldn't convey them in words? If true, why not speak directly to the ARMY as before? Or could it be that he tried, but was not given permission? This is where the biggest speculations come in. One Korean entertainment analyst, who declined to be named, revealed in an anonymous interview that some artists from major agencies sometimes include personal messages through video clips because they feel they do not have a free line of communication. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of control. When they're not allowed to speak the truth, they speak through symbols, he said. And yes, sometimes the symbol is disguised in very unexpected places. White bed, empty window, or even long silence in the middle of the video. It made the public ask again, is Jin trying to voice trauma, pressure, or even protest against something he can't directly fight? What adds even more complexity is the reaction of the other BTS members. Taehyung, who is usually known for being expressive, only made a short comment on the Weverse platform about Jin's video. He wrote, "It's a quiet but deep work." Quiet. The word echoed. The word feels like part of a bigger puzzle. Meanwhile, Jungkook has not commented at all. Even when interviewed on a variety show a few days after the video was released, when asked about his opinion on Jin's latest work, he only chuckled and said, "I prefer you to interpret it yourself." Maybe it's a message that doesn't need to be explained overtly. An answer that, instead of calming, invites even more anxiety. Do they know something we don't? Are they holding back because? But the question now is, if this is code, if this is a voice that is silenced but wants to be heard, do we all hear it clearly enough? A person from the creative industry who is known to have worked with HYBE gave a shocking statement anonymously to a closed forum of Asian music creators. He says, "There was a time when Jin was very idealistic about artistic concepts. But lately, we've seen Jin getting moody in the editing room. He sat for hours just staring at a blank screen, not even approving the first draft of the visual script. But when we sent the draft with the white bed, he said only one word: finally." The word "finally" is now a topic of great discussion in various international forums. Army. What does that mean? Does that mean he has waited a long time to convey something through the symbol of the bed? Or, even more sinister, does the genie feel that this is her last chance? Meanwhile, the fans picked up another important element that was previously missed: the clock on the wall. In a short but stressful scene, the camera sweeps slowly towards the old clock on the wall of the room where Jin sits on the bed. The clock is 4:13. At first it seemed random, but for the ARMY who understands, the number 0413 is BTS's debut date, April 13th. And that's not the only hidden reference. A few seconds after the clock is displayed, there is a sound of seconds that slow down, then stop. And that's when many fans couldn't hold back tears. Is Jin describing a time that stops? Or deeper than that? Does he want us to know that something in him has been dead since that day? The question is further echoed when in the last segment of the video, Jin walks towards the door. But the door didn't open. It touches the handle.
He's down.
He looked at the camera, then back. Not go, but back to bed. Point one more time, and the camera fades. Done, and yet all know it is not finished. This is just the beginning of an unanswered question. Some ARMY cried after watching this video because it felt as if Jin was showing them the invisible prison that bound him. The white room, white bed, the door that didn't open, shadow behind the window. The clock stopped. Everything seems to explain the same thing. The genie is trapped. Most importantly, the fans couldn't help it. We love him. But is our love enough to save her from that pressure? Wrote an ARMY from Indonesia in Thread X, which is now viral. We want to hear the real sound, not just metaphorical visuals. But if he can only speak through symbols, then we will continue to watch and read, even if it hurts. Some fans began comparing Jin's symbolism in overt to the symbolism used by Taehyung in some past visual projects. But the difference is obvious. Jin chose silence as his weapon. It does not scream, does not get angry, does not dramatize. He just sat, stared at the camera, and dared to let the silence explain his pain. Within days of the video's release, reports also surfaced that one of HYBE's creative team's top brass suddenly deleted her LinkedIn account and cut off all public connections. This report sparked speculation. Is there internal pressure going on? Did the people involved in the overt video come into conflict with the management team? When asked by reporters at HYBE's recent press conference about whether the symbolism in Jin's video is part of the artist's promotional strategy or personal expression, the agency's spokesperson responded only briefly. "We believe in the freedom of expression of our artists as long as it remains within healthy limits." But what does the healthy limit mean? And who determines where the boundary begins and ends? The fact that Jin did not appear directly in the press conference itself became a big question mark. Was he absent for personal reasons? Or because there is an unwritten rule that he does not talk more than what has been aired? Some fans felt déjà vu. They were reminded of the 2018 incident when Jin also gave a mysterious speech in one of BTS's speeches where he said, "I have something to say, but it's not time yet." Has that time now come? Amidst all this confusion, one clip from the behind-the-scene video, Overt, suddenly went viral. The clip shows Jin sitting on the edge of the bed after shooting, then muttering quietly. You think they'll understand? The voice behind the camera answers, if they love you, they will